Hey everybody, how you doing? And welcome back to Sway. That's right, welcome back to Sway. People are gonna ask, what happened to ET Contact? Well, I changed the name of the channel. I changed the name of the channel because I want to be more versatile. Yes, ET Contact, ufology, the whole UFO phenomenon, everything. It will be a major part of this channel. But I also want to be able to talk about spirituality, conspiracy theories, just everything, and just. So I decided just put it under my my YouTube stage name, Sway. Just all just encompassing all into one thing. But before I continue on with what I'm doing today, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, and if anything, share the hell out of this video, since I'm not making any money off YouTube. But I would like to share these videos with everybody. So remember, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Now, it took me a while to get this video going, mainly because I wanted to be some time from the unpleasantness that happened, even though there's peace between myself, my brother Miles, and that gentleman, Rocco Fowler. I wanted to just give it some time before I do another video. Today, for those of you that have been paying attention over the past few weeks, you already know about the Tucker Carlson thing. Tucker Carlson basically just on Fox News talked about the whole UFO thing, that our government has recovered off-world vehicles. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, just take a look at this.
This is a Fox News alert. There are new findings tonight in the search for extraterrestrial life. The New York Times reporting that a secretive Pentagon unit tasked with investigating UFO sightings is quite likely releasing some of its findings soon. And those findings could be stunning, particularly for people who have doubted the existence. The Pentagon has been conducting classified hearings on UFOs for more than a decade. We know very little about what they've found, but apparently just recovered are off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. That's a direct quote. We're not exactly sure what they mean by that, but some of it's self-evident. So it's a big story, and we are scouring through the reporting on it right now. We'll bring you much more right here tomorrow night.
So with that being said, let's just talk about it a little bit. Now, so far that was the first report, but there was another report afterwards, because what happened was that I believe he was reading off the New York Times or something. I don't really remember the whole details behind all of that. I know him and the New York Times, they were working together on this report. But then there was also a retraction that happened. Kind of like what happened in, during the Roswell situation. First, the newspaper says, "Oh yeah, we recovered a saucer or whatever," and then shortly afterwards, no, it was a weather balloon. So it was kind of the same situation. Now, we have to ask ourselves, these questions. Now, here's the thing. You're going to have the hardcore believers, the hardcore skeptics, and then you have people like myself that we're in the middle. And like I've said before, I've experienced my own things. With ETs and with spiritual things and what have you. So, but one of the things about me that I've said this many times before, I am also a skeptic. I'm also a skeptic, and I will research into it, and I will explore certain things, and I will just keep going into it until I feel I have a direct answer. But at the same time, keep my mind open, in case new information comes in. Now, and all of this time that the reports from Tucker Carlson came in and all of that, we had, people in the ufology community, spiritual community, whatever you want to call it, our community, like Laura Eisenhower, interviewing John D'Souza, you know, the X-Man, the FBI guy. Now, here's the thing. You know, I have a lot of respect for John D'Souza and everything that he's done. I'm actually Facebook friends with him. We've had some correspondence. You know, a couple of short text messages on Messenger, and you know, he was always cordial with me. I'm cordial with him, and long story short, I'm gonna agree with him in a lot of the things that he says. Not necessarily because he's a retired FBI agent, you know, or FBI agent retired, however he stated in one of his last interviews, but it's from everything that I've read that he's done, some of the things that he's written himself and what have you, as well as my own research, I see a lot of correlation with some of the things that he says with what I've found out. Now, is everybody going to agree with him? No. Is everybody going to agree with me? No. And that's fine. That is okay. But if you remember when the government released the Tic Tac videos, right? They released the Tic Tac videos. I'm going to agree with him in saying that was not a UFO. That was not an out-of-world spacecraft. That was one of our own drones. See, we have to remember that our government hides so much crap from the public, you know, because of top secret and national security, blah, blah, blah. And I'm talking about the United States government for all of my friends that are not in the United States. But, you know, the United States government, they hide a lot of crap. They keep a lot of things top secret where, anything can be a UFO or UAP or whatever, you know, the three letters that they're using these days. But I will agree with them in saying that, you know, that was not a UFO. That was not an extraterrestrial craft or an interdimensional craft. That was one of our own. That was a drone. I will agree with him on that. And just kind of hearing everybody out, you know, from watching Laura Eisenhower on her channel, and you know, the people that she's interviewed and all of that. This goes back to Roswell, where what they did, you know, it was right in the newspaper, and then they did a retraction. So it was the same thing. They wanted to get a reaction. They wanted to get a reaction out of the American people. They wanted to see what kind of reaction they would get from the American people. And, you know, whether they got the reaction they wanted to or not, probably not. They were probably expecting, oh no, World War III, War of the Worlds, and all that shit. And they didn't get it, so they printed, or they, not printed, but but on TV, they gave a retraction. And that's just my opinion. And, you know, I could be totally wrong. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. What the hell? You know, I'm not afraid to admit I'm wrong. But I personally, I think that, yes, this, you know, they didn't get the reaction that they wanted. And we're talking, you know, and if we're going to go into down that road, down that path, then I would say like the deep state folk that are trying to keep full disclosure from us, they didn't get what they wanted. I do believe that there are certain aspects, certain people in government and the military that they want to give full disclosure. You know, if we're going to get into the spiritual aspect of duality, you know, there's going to be a positive and a negative. There's going to be a positive and a negative. You have those that want, you know, that want something good, those that want something bad. So if you know, in that realm of things of trying to put things together, we have to be able to accept that, you know what, you have those in government, they want to give full disclosure. If there is full disclosure, like I said, I do believe that there are, extraterrestrials. I do believe that there are interdimensional, and this is based, is based on my own experiences, on all the crap that I've been through, on all the stuff that I've seen. But I also believe that there are certain people within the government, the black budget people, whatever you want to call them, that they're doing their own thing. Whether, you have to see. I'm open to the idea that that anything is possible. That anything is possible. And this is just based on my own life experience, on top of everything that I've researched throughout the years. So going back into the Tucker Carlson thing, when and I believe it was John D'Souza that said it. Tucker Carlson is basically working with the New York Times. Now, here's the thing about Tucker Carlson. He has his good moments and he has his bad moments. That's one thing that I gotta say. I don't know him personally, but just from everything that he's been doing on Fox News, he has his good moments, he has his bad moments. There's a lot of things that I can agree with him. There's a lot of things I don't agree with him. It's that simple. But I will agree with John D'Souza that the fact that he's working with the New York Times, and I've worked in media. And I will say that when it comes down to it, like whether it's newspapers or the mainstream media, many have an agenda. New York Times definitely has an agenda, and if he's working with the New York Times, they're telling him this information, then all of a sudden they retract it. Now he's retracting it himself, and then there's another report. Oh yeah, they're all over the place. They don't know what to do with it. They don't. But I think again, personally, when it comes to the Tic Tac video, I agree with John D'Souza. That's our own stuff. That's our own military, drones, whatever. Okay. Now, concerning the report that he made about off-world craft, we have to be open to, just because somebody says off-world craft or remains of off-world craft doesn't necessarily mean it does not necessarily mean that it is extraterrestrial, that it was the Pleiades or from the Pleiades or from Andromeda or what have you, or whatever. All that it means is that it was not made on this planet. That's all that it means. It was not made on this planet. You have to remember, how many secret satellites does the government, and we're talking about the United States government, how many secret satellites does the United States government have in orbit? Okay? And then before the International Space Station, before Mir, before everything else, how many secret space stations, okay, does our government and any other governments of the world they've had in space before it became public? Oh, we're gonna make a space station, blah blah blah. All right, and so how much shit do they build in space? You got to remember, they also do construction in space. They build things in space. They send the material to the International Space Station and what have you, and they were building shit in space, like different satellites and whatever. So why isn't it possible that they built some kind of craft in space? I mean, you know, a satellite is a form of craft. You know, it has a propulsion system. So why can't they build some kind of craft in space? They've been doing it for years. If you really think about it, and it goes, and again, it goes into other topics of discussion. Okay, it goes into other topics of discussion. Now, this, you know, I'm just kind of rambling off the top of my head, just to give you different points of views or ideas, just things to think about. Okay, that's all this video is about. Just things to think about. I'm gonna get into more detail in another video. But if you know, here's, and you have to ask yourself these questions of, okay, we all know that I'm gonna talk about the United States government. Excuse me while I have my ceremonial Coca-Cola. Okay, we have to ask the questions. Okay, I'm gonna talk about just the U.S. government. Okay, how many secret black projects does the U.S. government have? How many did they have before the shit that was already revealed to us? How many? They have a shitload of shit that we have yet to see. But, you know, we have yet to see. We haven't seen it. Why? Because they're these black projects and what have you, based, you know, and they're top secret, you know, for national security, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So, and that is in all aspects of everything. Now, okay, yes, but, you know, everybody's selling, you know, all the certain people in ufology, they're celebrating Space Force because that's going to bring a form of disclosure, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I agree. They're probably going to show off some of the shit that they've been hiding over for the past 70, 80, whatever years. Probably. Not all of it, but some of it. You know, they still have to keep some secrets. And then it goes into the question, is there a secret space force? And me personally, again, this is me personally, my opinion, okay, my opinion, but I'm going to get into why. Is there a secret space force? Yes. Is it to the degree that you hear about, you know, from the Randy Kramers and the Jason Rices and all of them? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I have no freaking clue. I have no freaking idea. Is it possible? Probably.
2 hours later.
But at the same time, probably not. But has there been a secret space force? Then, you know, me personally, I've got to say yes. And I gotta give credit where credit is due, as far as what one of the people that really made a good argument on the secret space, the secret space program, will have to be Richard Dolan. And you have to remember, you know, and I respect Richard Dolan. I mean, he really thinks things out logically. I mean, and, you know, about proof, and what have you. And I gotta agree with his point of view on it, is that, of course, there was a secret space force. Or program. A secret space program. There was a secret space program. You have to, and if we go back to, like, from the end of World War II era to now, with Project Paperclip and all of that, you know, again, with all the different black projects and what have you, a lot of shit's being done behind the scenes. Like, again, is the secret space program to that level, like what Randy Kramer and Jason Rice have been talking about? Probably not. I don't fucking know. I don't know. It's possible, but yet maybe not. We really don't know the extent of what's really happening. We don't. You know, we can listen. We can listen to somebody tell a story till their face turns blue, but we really don't know until we finally have proof. Whether it's personal proof, like, you know, like me personally, with my personal proof of all the shit that I went through, and I know, and because of my own personal proof, because of the stuff that's happened to my life, I believe certain things exist and what have you. But then also, but like I said, I've never experienced any secret space program stuff. I'm not getting any memory flashes of a, you know, so that means I must not have been good enough for a 20 and back. But here's the thing. Has there been a secret space program? Yes. And I agree with Richard Dolan and his point of view, and I believe he said this a few months back. It was in 2019, and where he said, you know, when it comes down to it, when it comes to the government, okay, you know, especially at the time when it was Russia versus the U.S. after World War II, and they were trying, and there was the great space race and what have you, even before NASA was founded and what have you. Our government and the Russian government, they had shit already going in space. There was already so many different things. So yeah, there is a secret space program. As to what was the whole idea behind it, national security. National security. Now, whether or not all the other things have happened that, you know, that you hear, you know, again from the Jason Rices, the Randy Kramers, obviously I'm not going to believe Corey Good because we know he's a liar, or, you know, but any, you know, other people, you know, with their own personal experiences, I can't, you know, me personally, and I know many of you personally, we cannot say. It is just one person's word. It is just one person's word. Jason Rice makes a really convincing case for it. The fact that he was in the military, and he has the proof that he was in the military. He was, if anybody remembers, he did an interview with Joe from the Carolinas, and a lot of the things with Jason Rice, again, it is about more personal experience within any memories that he's getting back. Now again, it is public information that MK Ultra existed. What, maybe he was a product of MK Ultra, and any memories that they put in his head was secret space program. You know, I was in Mars fighting. It could be the same thing with Randy Kramer, and it could be the same thing with Tony Rodriguez. And again, we don't know. But to round this all out and to just finish this video off, just to kind of, this is just to get you thinking about things. I'm just rambling, just to get some, you know, just to get you to think about things. Okay. Did they find off-world craft that was not created on Earth? You know what? I gotta say yes. Yeah, they did a retraction. But I gotta say yes. Yeah, of course it wasn't built here. It was probably, again, it was probably built around our orbit in one of the space stations, the secret space stations that one of the world's governments has in orbit, you know? So yeah, of course they recovered it. And of course it wasn't built on here because, you know, what have you. Is there a secret space program? Again, I gotta go with yeah. And again, I'll go with the way Richard Dolan explains it. You know, governments, they have their secrets, they have their top secret shit, they have their national security stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of programs, a lot of black project ops and what have you. And again, we got to think about this logically. And not go above that. Okay, not go above thinking logically, because until we have certain proof of certain things, we can only go by our own personal experiences. Now, by my own personal experiences, I know what I've been through. I know what I've seen. But until I can honestly prove it to everybody else, I can't go out there and saying this is hardcore fact. I can't. Until I can honestly prove it. Or until other people have experienced what I've experienced. Okay? But to go based on the physical proof on I'm including records, public records on a lot of different things, okay? Is there a secret space program? Then the answer has to be yes. Again, logically thinking about it, how many secret black op projects and programs does the United States government has? A shitload of them. A shitload of them. Can we say that it is to the extent of what is out there? No, we can't. We can't. We can only go by certain people's words. Okay? Did they recover off-world craft? Again, the answer is yes. Yeah, it wasn't. It was not built here on Earth, but it was built in the orbit, around Earth's orbit. All right, so I just needed to get this video out there just to say something. It's been a while. I've been working on a few things, just trying to stay busy to get more information on a lot of different things. So until next time, stay safe. Love you all. Peace.